You began a guided meditation.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? I think you should be able to. I hope. I see like I see the sound thing. So I'm gonna. Okay, look, I'm just gonna move on, assuming that you can fucking hear me. All right, so, okay, good, it's working. Okay, great. So, as usual, I'm a bit late. I'm sorry about that, but it really wouldn't be a stream by me if I wasn't a bit fucking late. So, who gives a shit? Um, what we're doing today, I'm a bit drunk. It's kind of in the title. Uh, I found a short thing by Crowder. Well, okay, first of all, I haven't seen any of this shit before. I'm just doing this because I thought it'd be fucking hilarious. Uh, I found a couple of things. I found a thing by Crowder and a thing by PragerU. I'm going to comment on it. And what I especially want to comment on is that interracial Jubilee thing because I heard it's awkward as fuck. I haven't watched it, but I assume that my reaction is going to be fucking hilarious. So I thought it would be fun to stream it. In other news, I'm actually, the reason I haven't uploaded in quite a bit is because as you guys might know, I am working on an album. It's going to be released soon, and yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason I have not been uploading so much. But my single Best Side is almost finished, so it's going to be released soon. I'm also going to be releasing a sort of like semi-scripted-ish video essay soon. I think a bit before that on PragerU and stuff like that. So look out for that as well. Really, the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, it's gonna be a lot of content coming out for me. So at least I hope so. But you never fucking know. Fucking autistic. So, but I mean, just look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? Just look forward to it. That's all I'm saying. Is there anything I'm missing? I made a new Insta. You should check it out because I'm hot as fuck. Especially when I'm not being filmed at this horrible angle by my webcam. But yeah, I guess we can just jump into it. Just give me a couple of seconds. Just let me make sure I'm not missing anything, and then we can start. Isn't it crazy how fast the Taliban took over Afghanistan? That shit is crazy. But not that crazy. It's still kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Alright. I think that's everything. Alright, again, just make sure all of my stuff's working. I think that's it. I hope. Yeah, that should be it. Again, guys, remember, I've not watched these beforehand.
No.
So, it's going to be as new for me as it is for you. This one's kind of short, but it's called Improving the Improving the Quality of Lives for Transgenders. So I assumed it was going to be incredible, amazing, and tremendous, and wow, and oh my god, you know what I'm saying? So let's check it out.
Improve the quality of life for transgenders, and I think you want society to be. I think that you want to improve the quality of life for transgenders, and I think you want society to be as functional and tolerant as possible.
Sure. Whenever conservatives start off with an argument for me, what's concerning? Whenever conservatives start off an argument with me, they always start off with some like, I'm sure you want people to be alive and not die, and then for not to be suffering, and I am sure that you like not destruction, And I'm like, sure. I know this is not going in a good direction. Let's continue.
I believe that's your objective, and that's certainly my objective.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
No, my position isn't there's not enough data. I want to be very clear because I know a lot of
Data? What do you need data on? There's not enough data on the transgenders for me to decide whether or not I want to treat them like human beings. Okay.
times people will have people from opposing viewpoints and sort of feign middle ground. No, my position is that there is such overwhelming data right now that it's not good.
I see. So, there was data, right? They did the study and the conclusion said not good. Transgender, not good. Now, he has no description. I'm even surprised at that one. So, I can't check if he has a source on that one. Apparently, I just have to believe that the data says the thing. So.
Now, what you just said there, I do agree with. Of
Is he talking to? I might be talking to someone. I don't know.
course, people who are bullied, people who are mistreated, people who are abused probably have increased rates of suicidality. I think we would both agree with that.
Sure.
But the truth is
Oh my God, is he really gonna?
that minority groups in general actually have lower suicide rates. For example, blacks compared to white.
Okay. Even if that were true, right? That black people have lower suicide rates than white people, which I'm almost certain that's not true. I would have to look it up. In fact, we can look it up right after. But even if that were true, that wouldn't say anything about transgender people. I know that since you're a cishet and you're a fascist, that you think that all minority groups are the same, but unfortunately that is not the case. So,
I don't think anyone here would say that black people are less likely to be victims of hate crimes. Nowhere else do you find the attempted suicide rate in society outside of modern transgenderism.
well, oh, yeah, but I mean, I would hazard a guess to think that that is mainly because they are more mistreated in society than most groups, you know? Unfortunately, transgender people and people in the LGBT community are harassed and bullied far, far more than most minority groups, even black people. The only other thing I can think that is somewhat comparable to that is autistic people, and those two things are extremely interlinked anyway. So, yeah. Wait, was that it?
Black people are less likely to be victims of hate crimes. Nowhere else do you find the attempted suicide rate in society outside of modern transgenderism.
Okay. Like, even if that were true, right? Let's say that there was something inherently suicidal about the transgender condition, right? And so what? You making this fucking argument, it doesn't change anything, right? Like, people aren't gonna hear, like, this is like the equivalent of the being gay is a choice argument, right? Like, do you think that, like, people are gonna hear that there's a high suicide rate among transgender people and then not be transgender? Would you expect the same thing of, like, autistic people, for instance? Is get rid of my, like, imagine if this was autistic people, right? And he was like, yeah, well, the data shows that it sucks to be an autistic person. And you'd be like, yeah, that's true. It'd be like, yeah, so maybe we should stop harassing them, right? And you'd be like, yeah, but you don't understand. The data shows that autistic people are killing themselves. And it just, and it'd be like, not only is that a non sequitur, you're almost proving my point. You know what I'm saying? So, How's the background music? Chan? What the fuck is Chan? I don't know. Now, objectives makes people's lives better, but we shouldn't listen to those people who for how to make their lives better. Yeah, basically. Okay, let's move on. We're talking about the Ten Commandments, right? Okay, so I happen to be, I think, sort of fairly educated, at least somewhat, in comparison to most people, on topic of religion and Christianity especially. So, you know, maybe they will say some shit that, like, I can debunk. I don't know. I mean, like, it's PragerU, so I doubt that, like, either way, no matter what video is going on, that it would take that much effort to show you why what they were saying is bullshit. This is why I call it a low-hanging fruit, but you never know. Yeah, we should stop choosing to be autistic. Okay, let's go, guys.
No document in world history so changed the world for the better as did the Ten Commandments.
That was significantly worse of an opener than I expected it to be. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. Incredible.
Western civilization, the civilization that developed universal human rights.
I'm gonna go drink a little bit more. Give me a second. Okay. I took another shot. Hopefully that smooths me out. It gets worse, yeah. I get the feeling it's gonna get even worse than that. Hammurabi had the most influential document. Maybe. If I had to pick one document that actually changed the world for the better, significantly, it's like ancient. I don't know, the Upanishads? I don't know. People overrate these fucking books, man. I'm telling you. People overrate that ancient shit. I'm telling you. Zuma shut me on, dog. Okay, so this nigga said that they invented universal human rights. Apparently, that was North America, apparently. So, there have been many civilizations before and after America's founding that had all the rights and more of America, at least the ones that people care about. And this goes all the way back to like Cyrus the Great and the original Achaemenid Empire, the Persian Empire. But even then, like Cyrus the Great, I don't think he was really the person who came up with like the concept of universal human rights. But he is sort of like one of the most famous notable examples of like one of the earliest sort of like leaders who championed the concept of universal human rights, at least within the context of the state. Sound like a potent shot? Yeah, well, it's rum. I only drink. Well, not only, but I mainly drink rum. So, yeah. So, I mean, like, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say this, that America did not invent human rights. It certainly does not now have. Like, it depends on what you mean by universal human rights. I mean, like, there's certainly many rights that many people do not have and wish it could have. I mean, I'm sure Dennis Prager doesn't know about that considering his position, but, I mean, it's a reality. And assumed by university just means for all people, but even in that case, it's not really the case, at least for America. I mean, isn't this the same guy who was, like, championing a Muslim ban? So, like, he supported Trump. So,
created women's equality.
wow. 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 Wow, wow, wow. Incredible. Incredible. This man just lie. Lie, don't give a fuck. He's a beginning of East Got used to until like 2 times catch up. Thanks. But, okay. So this nigga said that North America invented women's equality. Incredible. Incredible. Imagine thinking that women are equal, have equal rights in America. Amazing. 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 Imagine that thinking that men and women operate in like equal spheres of like, I mean, equality of what? I don't even fucking know. But like, imagine thinking that there's any area really in which men and women are have achieved parity. Incredible, 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 bro, incredible. The ironic thing is that every time society approaches getting closer to universal human rights, conservatives are the ones who oppose it to something like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Don't know, I'm lying, dog. Lie every day. Every day.
Ended slavery.
Amazing. Amazing. Incredible. Incredible, dog. Incredible. 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 America was like one of the last nations to end slavery. Literally. Alright? Many places before any of the European nations had banned slavery. Alright? Banning slavery is certainly nothing fucking new. Alright? It goes back to ancient times. Alright? If you're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, America was one of the last nations who ended that. Two, this is probably the most important and most obvious point. They started it, so like to give you credit for ending genocide. Come on, man. Come on. You're being ridiculous. And I know this is man lying, but still, it's ridiculous.
Created parliamentary democracy, among other unique achievements, would not have developed without them.
He said it invented parliamentary democracy.
Parliamentary
That might be true. I'm not sure, actually.
democracy, among other unique achievements, would not have developed without them.
Without the Ten Commandments. I genuinely want to know, which one of the Ten Commandments did they use to invent parliamentary democracy? I have to know, dog. I have to know. Which one of the Ten Commandments created parliamentary? Let's look them all up, actually. I can't remember them by heart. Ten Commandments. Oh, there it is at the side. Okay, I'm the Lord thy God. Very influential in parliamentary democracy. No other gods before me. Again, very influential in parliamentary democracy. I mean, I guess you could say that, like, the king is, like, a god? I don't know. But then, in that case, like, I mean, like, parliamentary democracy isn't, like, the only way to like run a country. After king certainly did not invent democracy or like the fucking like the Christians or the Americans or whatever. They certainly did not invent parliament. Did not invent the concept of democracy, and certainly did not invent fucking the idea of getting rid of a king and not having a king. So like, look, reality is strongly fucking doubt that there was an influencer. No graven images or likenesses, very influential, of course. Not take the Lord's name in vain, very, very influential in the formation of parliamentary democracy. Remember the Sabbath day. I remember when they were inventing parliamentary democracy, they said, we have to make sure people remember the Sabbath day. We're not going to write anything about it, but we have to make sure people remember it, dog. Honor thy father and thy mother. Very influential in parliamentary democracy. Thou shalt not kill. Again, it's clear to me that before parliamentary democracy, everyone is killing everyone. There's no rules or morality around killing, so. And we don't have to read the rest, right? Like, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't bear false witness, don't covet. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Not even close. What are you saying is not even close to reality. You could group us all into the same category. It's maddening. Which category? Are you talking about minorities?
Without them. As you will see when each of the 10 commandments is explained, these commandments are as...
I'm waiting. My body is ready, dog. I'm waiting for a fucking pounding. Really. Really. I'm fucking submissive as shit, and I want to get fucked out, dog. Please. Tell me.
Today,
please tell me.
Is when they were given over 3,000 years ago. In fact, they're so relevant that the 10 commandments are all that is necessary to make a good world, a world free of tyranny and cruelty.
Incredible. Incredible. There's not even a commandment against rape, so like...
Imagine for a moment a world in which there was no murder or theft.
And everyone remembered the Sabbath, and everyone was honoring thy father and their mother, even if thy father and thy mother raped them. And everyone fucking, I don't know, everyone was not taking the Lord's name in vain, then we would have global peace, dog. Then, only then.
In such a world, there would be no need for armies or police or weapons.
Does this nigga really think that, like, the fucking Jews and were the first people to think of maybe niggas shouldn't kill niggas? Is that what he really thinks? Wow. Wow.
Men and women and children could walk anywhere at any time of day or night without any fear of being killed or robbed.
Killed her on. Does it even say you shouldn't steal? I should look that up. I don't even know if there's a commandment against stealing. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay, fair enough.
Imagine further a world in which no one coveted what belonged to their neighbor.
That'd be awful. I mean, I'm sure you want that because you live in one of those houses and you're afraid of all the fucking poor and the black people who are trying to execute you because you exist and you are annoying constantly. But for a person who is not a demon, coveting is actually pretty normal because we live in an unequal society that has where the distribution of wealth is based off of completely arbitrary market forces. So it's not arbitrary in the sense that, like, I mean, you know how the fucking market works. I mean, like, why do, like, I don't know, why are some of the most wealthy people fucking like actors and niggas like this who make PragerU videos? Because the world is fucked up, clearly. So
A world in which children honor their mother and father and the family unit thrive.
that'd be awful, dog. That'd be terrible. Terrible, terrible. I'm sure he wants that because he probably fucking abused his children. If he has any, probably fucking abused them, so he wants that. But for normal people, it's awful, dog. Awful.
A world in which people obey the injunction not to lie. The recipe for...
Bro, all I'm saying with regards to lying, I'm saying don't lie specifically to a significant other, because I'm pretty sure it causes schizophrenia, but in normal circumstances, especially with regards to the state, lie all the time. It's great. It's great. It gets you out of so much shit. Trust me, lying, well, first of all of this video is lies. So like demonstrable lies. So the idea of like niggas shouldn't lie, ridiculous for coming from him. Regardless of that, the state, especially from a minority group, hates you and wants you dead, probably. So if you're in that position, I would recommend not allowing your enemy to destroy you. That's all I'm saying. But don't lie to comrades. That shit causes schizophrenia. So I still gotta on my father keep that if they don't, bro. That's what I'm saying. Do you have to honor your mother and your father if they're not keeping the Sabbath? Because I'm pretty sure you have to stone them or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So. And what if your mother was doing adultery, dog? Then you have to stone her. But how can you stone any honor? But actually, I think that's what they call honor killings. Yeah. Okay. Prager wants people to covet his house. That's why he owns the big house. I mean, yeah, that's actually kind of true. That's probably the case. I mean, I have no fucking idea why white people buy these massive fucking houses. Like, yo, do you go outside? Do you go outside? Why you need so many fucking rooms, dog? I don't understand. Question is too advanced to ask for you. Okay, let's continue.
a good world is all there in these 10 sublime commandments. But there is a catch. The 10 commandments are predicated on the belief that they were given by an authority higher than any man, any king, or any government. That's why the sentence preceding the 10 commandments asserts the following: God spoke all these words. You see, if the 10 commandments, as great as they are,
And by
were
God,
given by
and
any
by
human
God,
authority,
and by God, I'm talking about the mad kush that I was smoking on fucking Mount Sinai, dog. That shit was incredible. Alright, the shit looked like, the shit was white. Alright, white with the fucking resin. Alright, so don't know. So when I come up with shit, it's some real shit I'm talking. Mom, I honor you in spite of you cheating on your abusive dad with this big rock. He literally wants to go back to like Spanish Inquisition days, dog. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
then any person could say, who is this man Moses? Who is this king or queen? Who is this government to tell me how I should behave?
Which government had like no laws against murder and stealing and I mean, like, I guess like they weren't fucking they weren't like punishing lies or coveting probably, but like other than that, I mean, like, were there any governments that were like banning, I don't know, not taking the Lord's name in vain? They just forced you to take the Lord's name in vain all the time? What? Also, how is I am the Lord thy God a commandment? It's just a statement. What the fuck? Whatever. I mean, like, a better commandment would be like, worship me, cause I'm God. But just like a statement that you're God isn't really a commandment in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you're God, and you know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, so why is God indispensable to the Ten Commandments? Because
That's true. That's true. If you went back to 1066, they wouldn't have, white supremacy would have been a foreign concept. So Dennis Prager probably wouldn't like that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
to put it as directly as possible, if it isn't God who declares murder wrong, murder isn't wrong.
Why? I hear Christians saying this bullshit all the time. God has to exist for murder to be wrong. Bro, that says something about you! You and not me, alright? I am not killing niggas for no reason, alright? It is clear to me, alright, that you're making this argument that you, without the existence of fucking God, would just be killing out niggas, alright? And knowing him, you probably get away with it, fucking American Psycho looking ass. So
Yes, this strikes many people today as incomprehensible, even absurd. Many of you are thinking, is this guy saying you can't be a good person if you don't believe in God?
that's exactly what you're saying, dude, and I'm pretty sure you said this many times before. So I don't know how you're making this. You're doing the fucking like, what I call this shit, anticipating fucking counter argument shit when like, yo, like you said this shit before. So like.
Let me respond as clearly as possible. I am not saying that.
I'm pretty sure you just said that. So like, yo, you can't just say a thing. Say, are you saying that thing? And say, no, I'm not saying that, and then get away with it, dog. Alright, I heard what you said before. Alright, I'm not stupid.
Of course there are good people who don't believe in God, just as there are bad people who do. And many of you are also thinking, I believe murder is wrong. I don't need God to tell me. Now, that response is only half true. I have no doubt that if you're an atheist and you say that you believe murder is wrong, you believe murder is wrong. But forgive me, you do need God to tell you. We all need God to tell us. You see, even if you figured out murder is wrong...
I've heard this argument before too, like, lol, God gave you the morality, like, in your mind or some shit. Like, yo, that's an unfalsifiable hypothesis. It can't be disproven, alright? I could just as easily say that the fucking flying teapot in the sky was the one who gave you the morality to not kill niggas, alright? That wouldn't make it true. I could say it was Allah. I could say it was fucking Vishnu. I could say it was anyone, alright? Alright, like, this is the worst argument ever, alright? It can be used in any context. All you would have to do is just replace the fucking name, alright?
Own.
Like, niggas are acting like there aren't any, like, evolutionary advantages to humans being opposed to wanton murder, stealing, fucking, and all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? Where that's clearly not the case. So,
Without God and the Ten Commandments, how do you know it's wrong? Not believe it's wrong.
how do I know it's wrong? Wrong in what sense? Do you mean like it's logically wrong that if I murder somebody that's like a false equation or something? What do you mean? You mean morally wrong, but I mean, like, as I've explained in one of my video essays, Why Your Morals Suck, every belief that something is wrong is a belief. There is no factual statement that something is morally wrong. That's not a thing. Alright? Anything else is your own fucking delusion. Alright, I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to say.
Wrong. I mean, know it's wrong.
You don't. If you say that you do, you're wrong. You're a dumbass. I'm sorry to say.
The fact is, you can't. Because without God, right and wrong are just personal beliefs.
Isn't murder always a violation of someone's rights? I mean, yeah, technically.
Personal opinions. I think shoplifting is okay, you don't.
What?
Unless there is a God, all morality is just opinion and belief.
Okay. And? Like, did he ever consider, like, the possibility that that statement is like, the clause at the end there, all morality is just opinion and belief? Did he ever consider at any point that that statement might be true? No, because he has an ideological, he's ideologically wedded to the idea that his garbage opinions, his garbage immoral way of living his life is his unthinking way of living his life, his disconnection from the struggles of regular people. He wants to believe that all of that, right, is irrelevant, and all he needs to do is follow the Ten Commandments, because if he thought otherwise, he would have to admit that he's a demon, right? He's a demon, and he probably deserves a horrible, horrible fate. You know what I'm saying? So.
And virtually every atheist philosopher
Virtually
has
every.
acknowledged this.
So.
Another problem with the view that you don't need God to believe that murder is wrong is a lot of people haven't shared your view. And you don't
What?
have to go back very far in history to prove this. In the 20th century, millions of people in
I'm going to take another drink, guys. Sorry about that. Ow, my toe. If communists are better and bad, we are 100%. All communists fucking, like, honestly, communist sex, best sex. I have to be honest with you. Mainly because it is extremely violent. Oh my god. Okay. So the funny thing about the argument that he's about to make about the commies and how they kill niggas is I mean, I don't think I have to tell anyone, really. Both in the modern day and especially before the formation of the Soviet Union, there was a lot of state-sanctioned fucking murder, alright? There was a lot. The Soviet Union, in comparison to many other states, was actually tame in this regard. Okay? So, the fact that he chose the Soviet Union, and not, for example, I don't know, the Nazis, kind of shows where his ideological bent is coming from. That's all I have to say about that.
Communist societies and under Nazism killed about 100 million people, and that doesn't count.
Oh well, to be fair, he did bring up the Nazis.
In the 20th century,
I'm gonna be fair to him on that one. I mean, he could have brought up like I mean, I think conservatives like to do this a lot. They'll say, "Ah, I brought up the Nazis too, so both extremes, huh?" And it's like, no, they're not the same. I also made a video on that, which you can check out. It's called "You Cannot Compare the Far Left to the Far Right." It's a great video. Made it right before the Biden v. Trump election, and yeah, it's great. Around the time similar arguments are being made, I decided to sort of eliminate the possibility of that argument, or at least not eliminate it, but like have a video that people could point to easily explain why the argument is nonsensical. So I don't feel the need particularly to explain why at this point. Honestly, I think it should be fucking self-evident, but you never know with white people. So, yeah.
100 million people, and that doesn't count a single soldier killed in war. So don't get too confident about people's ability to figure out right from wrong without a
Hold on. What did he say about the Nazis, actually?
In the 20th century, millions of people in communist societies and under Nazism killed about 100 million people. And that doesn't count a single soldier killed in war. So don't get too confident about people's ability to figure out right from wrong without a higher authority.
Okay, look. Even the Nazis, in comparison to, like, many medieval Christian states, weren't that bad. I mean, like, medieval Christian states did genocide on the Jews all the time. It was a regular fucking occurrence, and nobody did shit about it. At least most times. So the idea that following the Ten Commandments would, and being religious and shit, would not make you like the Nazis, it's self-evidently fucking ridiculous and ahistorical. So many countries don't have a state-sanctioned murder. You could argue maybe Japan doesn't have one because it doesn't have a standing military, except for the standing military that it's trying to build right now. So
it's all too easy to be swayed by a government or a demagogue or an ideology or to rationalize.
Yeah, an ideology like Christianity.
That the wrong you're doing isn't really wrong.
Bro, projection of the highest order. Okay? I'm sorry to tell you. This is projection.
And even if you do figure out what is right and wrong, God is still necessary.
Bro. You can't get away with it for a second,
People
man.
who know the difference between right and wrong
Nigga will come up with any fucking ridiculous argument. Men say you have to keep off grass because of God.
do the wrong thing all the time. You know why? Because they can.
Amazing,
they can because
bro.
they think no one is watching.
Yeah, like you. You're doing this right now in this video. What the fuck?
But if you recognize that God is the source of moral law,
Bro.
you believe that He is.
Bro, you're going to hell. Do you understand? Do you think Jesus would like you? Are you fucking insane? Must be a dumbass, dog. Must be a dumbass. Japan has to build pretty big military for a place like this not to have a military. Yeah, pretty much. The difference between big difference with dictatorships of the 1990s, they could incorporate industrial techniques in their genocidal programs. Yeah, that was a big contributing factor to how a lot of the genocides, especially in the case of the Holocaust, a lot more successful than some of the other genocides and pogroms and shit that occurred against Jews in the past. A lot of evidence to say that human society is trending towards more peace, which is amazing. There's a long ways to go. I don't know about that. I don't know if there's like any sort of trend besides what's going on in people's heads, really. I don't think there's a trend. I think it's just sometimes niggas are going to war, sometimes niggas are not going to war. I don't really think there's a trend if you actually look historically. I mean, like, to be fair, with Europe, that is certainly the case. Because of the formation of the European Union and all that shit. Europe clearly does not want to go to war again. And with them on that one, with sort of like from a global historical perspective, I don't know, there have been long periods of peace and long periods of war. I mean, we just had a period of war that was a very massive period of war that was not that long ago. It's called World War II. So, right now, what we're doing mainly is a lot of imperialist wars. So, if you're Europe, it certainly looks like the world is trending towards peace. But if you're Yemen, it probably doesn't look like that. So,
He's watching. So even if you're an atheist, you would want people to live by the moral laws of the Ten Commandments.
bro, what? Half of the Ten Commandments are like, God, 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 don't know some God, don't know some God, don't fuck with me some God, my God, my God, my God, blah, blah, blah. So, what you saying doesn't make any sense.
And even an atheist has to admit that the more people who believe God gave them, and therefore they are not just opinion, the better the world would be. In 3,000 years, no one has ever come up with a better system than the God-based Ten Commandments for making a better world.
How about, like, Jeremy Bentham? I would hazard a guess to say that even, like, the most basic and ridiculous forms of utilitarianism would be a better way to live your life than by following the Ten Commandments. Because if you only follow the Ten Commandments, then you'd only be avoiding, like, the worst of the worst primal instinct crimes, and you'd be worshipping God. With regards to all of the other horrible shit that you can do in the context of a modern society that was not conceived of in the time of the Ten Commandments, all of that is relevant, and all of that is obviously convenient for Dennis Prager here, because he's probably doing most of that shit. So, honestly, I strongly doubt that the Ten Commandments would be a good way to live your life. I think that he probably lives his life like that, although you never know. Again, I think he's probably like American Psycho on the low, but whatever. But even if he is following the Ten Commandments, that does not make him a good person. I have to tell you guys. I have to tell you.
And no one ever will. I'm Dennis.
You see, that kind of shows where his ideological bent is coming from. The fact that he said no one ever will shows that this is not based on logic. It's not based on evidence, facts, reality, material conditions, the real world, people, not being a dumbass. All right, this is based on what makes him feel good. All right, what makes him and other wealthy white people, the other 35,000 wealthy white people that watch this, what makes them feel good, even though 35,000, even though the channel 2.92 million. Oh my god.
Folks, this video was made possible through our partnership with Dallas Baptist University. PragerU subscribers may be eligible for a $1,000 scholarship toward tuition for courses taken through DBU.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Alright, good. I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about before my shit cut out. I think I was saying that, like, if you're fucking doing rights, if you're doing rights-based understanding and Aristotelian, like, or if you're doing Aristotelian value judgment, then eventually you're gonna get to a point in which that causes you to make objectively harmful decisions. I would recommend not doing that, and instead stop giving a fuck about being a good person and only give a fuck, well, not only give a fuck, but like mainly give a fuck about the outcomes of your actions. Meaning, like, I actually don't care if a person, like, technically is a good person. I'm more concerned with the actual actions that they're taking and how much they're contributing to good in the world. You know, I'm kind of like a hedonist to begin with. So, like, I don't really give a fuck about, like, most traditional morality to begin with. What I care about is people not suffering. So, if your values are leading demonstrably to people suffering, maybe you either have to reconsider your values or reconsider the way that your values relate to your morality. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm back. Alright, weigh the consequences of your actions and have self-awareness. Yeah, because I know, like, a lot of people are only concerned, especially a lot of leftists, a lot of famous leftists, is sort of actually one of the things I'm going to be talking about in one of my upcoming essays. A lot of people, or my next upcoming essay, I should say, a lot of people are mainly concerned with looking like a good person and not actually being a good person. So maybe you should actually mainly consider the consequences of your actions. I'm not saying you can't consider values and all the other shit, but, like, I think personally that when taking a moral action, that what you should consider first and foremost is how that action is affecting just everyone, really, you, the other person, society in general, in a way that, and then so you can justify what your action is in relation to that. The way that I look at things is I generally try to do what is best, and I'm a fairly selfless person, so I try to do what is best for just everyone who is sort of, like, relevant in this moral decision, and not just me. There's a lot of people just consider them because they're selfish as fuck. I think that probably a good way of life is to try to optimize the sort of, like, desirable outcomes and minimize the undesirable outcomes, sort of, as much as possible for everyone, not just you. I mean, like, I think it's not that bad to consider yourself maybe a bit more than the other person, but not that much. I mean, like, if it comes to a certain, I mean, like, I do think at a certain point that you are obligated, if, like, a situation is particularly bad, then you're probably obligated to um sort of sacrifice your own comfort or your own well-being for the good of for like the sort of general good, the greater good, the good of everyone in the relevant context in which you're operating. But I mean, it's not always the case, but I think that this is like generally a good way to live by. Just like consider how can we work philosophically to make things, because a lot of people sort of like they face moral decisions in a sort of adversarial way where they're trying to, one person's trying to be a good person, another person's trying to be a good person. But I think that the best way is probably to do it collaboratively, in which you try to decide what is the best moral outcome for everyone involved, really. So, yeah. Yeah, we making a decision is a risk, and we have to balance our decision with possible outcomes. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me just finish this, and then, oh my god, why does this thing keep falling? Let me just finish this.
Learn more about DBU's mission to transform the world through conservative Christian higher education
Amazing.
at PragerU.com/DBU.
All right, that was it. Awful, just like I expected. All right, so we're going on to the proper fucking meme. I've been hearing about this, the fucking interracial shit. And you know, fucking as a not even mixed race, as a multi-race person myself, you know, certainly I'm very interested to see what the fuck's going on here. I mean, this is my domain, right? If there's any area in which I have more of a say than just like regular black niggas in general, it's here, alright? Because this is my shit, alright? Interracial shit, that's my shit. Because I'm interracial, so yeah, let's go. But give me just one minute, actually, because I actually need to order some food, because I doubt that I will be able to make dinner in time, considering that I'm doing the stream. So I need just 1 second to order something, and then hopefully by the time that I end the stream, it'll be here, because these niggas take long. So just give me 1 second so I can do that. Guys, remember, you gotta fucking follow me on Instagram, alright? I'm based as fuck. I'm hot as fuck. There's no reason to not follow me on Instagram, alright? I am so fucking awesome, alright? So, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is in the description, so I want you to follow me, alright? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you're exactly right, Rose Proctor. It's part of our culture. Like, hierarchy is part of our culture, and of course, as leftists, we're trying to reduce that as much as possible. Alright. And we do, especially, have to remember at all times, no matter what, especially if we have power, especially if wealth, especially if we are in a privileged position. And even regardless of that, I mean, even if we're not in that position, but especially if we're in that position, we have to remember that other safety is contingent on our actions, especially our inaction. You know what I'm saying? So, interracial hypers, yeah. You don't have an Insta? Too bad. Fucking mate one and follow me. I think I give a fuck. Ha! Got him. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, I ordered my thing, so we're probably gonna start this now. Alright. So, interracial shit. We're doing interracial. We're doing miscegenation. Every day, we're doing miscegenation because we want to breed out white men and replace them with mixed race babies, so that hopefully none of this shit will happen again. Hopefully, after all of that, all of this, we will not have to deal with racism anymore. You know, that shit that I talked about and reported for bullying Nazis video with the fucking, like, when we were talking about how everyone's gonna look at the same in the future, we're trying to accelerate that process as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So that's the perspective I'm coming into with this. We want as much whatever. We want as much miscegenation as possible. Alright? We want to breed out the white womendom. That's all I'm saying. So let's go.
The freak stuff in the bedroom. If race
Wait, hold up.
the
What?
freak stuff in the bedroom.
Oh no, this is not gonna. This is. Oh my god. 2 seconds in, I'm already like, I don't think this is gonna go into a good place. But let's go anyway.
If race sprinkles is put into that context, what do we think of that? Like
How would race
Oh, is he talking about race play? Oh.
be put into the bed?
use your imagination.
What do you mean how? Have you not seen like black.com? What do you mean? How could race be put into the bedroom? Are you stupid? We're gonna call myself white traditionalist. I'm down for further mixing, integrating. Exactly. We want as much fucking mestizo fucking niggas as possible. Alright? We want mestizo ass niggas so they can vote not for the. That's what I'm trying to do. Every day. Every day we're doing great replacement, dog.
3, 2, 1, go.
I've definitely been ignorant.
So we were.
Wait, strongly agree. Interracial couples, it's okay to have a preference of race. Okay, what's my opinion on this? Is it okay to have a preference of race? Yeah, I'm already uncomfortable too. Alright, so if you follow me religiously on Twitter, you might know that I have somewhat of a thing for white redhead women. Now, I'm somewhat ashamed of this. Mainly because people have made me feel ashamed for it. It is a long story of how this came to be, but honestly, if you're aware in any way of my personality, it really should not be that much of a surprise. Cut out for a moment. Yeah, my mic's kind of fucked up. Whatever. All I'm saying is that all I'm saying is that I happen to have a thing for white redhead women. Besides that, I do not have a preference for race. Alright. I think that in general, if you, 90 to 95% of the time, if you have a preference of race, you're probably a little bit racist. You're probably a lot of bit racist, to be honest. But, I'm saying that's all with this case. I know this because I have a completely and utterly irrational love of white redhead women. So, oh, you want me to tell you? I mean, if I could remove it, honestly, at this point I'm considering it. But, regardless of that, I mean, why? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why would you have a preference of race? I could understand having a preference of certain physical characteristics, right? That's, for example, I like women with red hair. But why would you just write off all people from a certain race? Or just think that all people from a certain race are good or attractive? That to me does not make any fucking sense, and it seems fairly racist. That's all I have to say about that. Well, that's not all I have to say, but I mean, it's some of what I have to say about that, at the very least. Good for the genome. That is true. It's good for interracial fucking breeding. Is good for the human genome. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for following me on Insta. I appreciate it. Seems fair to suggest a fetish is tied to stereotypes of person holes. I mean, yeah, most times, 90 to 95% of the time, that shit, the only reason some people of a certain race is because they have stereotypes of people that are that race. I understand if you're saying yo, I like black people because I like black culture, and that's why I like black people. I just like black culture. That makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is just saying I like black men, because most times when I hear that bullshit, it's usually by white or Asian women who think that all black men are like this nigga, or some fucking big black fucking bull or whatever, or some other bullshit like that. All right, that's what happens most of the time. Not all the time. I would say that is a general occurrence. Sometimes someone in a racial category different from yours might seem off limits to you. Yeah, if you're a fucking racist. Unless the guy give a fuck or something. No one's off limits to me, dog. I'm getting pussy. Huh? It's not the looks is taboo. That's 100% true. That's a very good point. Now, a lot of people, they'll give a fuck about looks or give a fuck about the culture or anything. The reason I love people of a certain race is just because it's taboo. That's another very good point that you're making there. a lot of people just like black people because people say that they can't fuck black people. That's the only reason. So I mean, have like ridiculous, idealized notions of what being a black person is like and what black people are like. Like there are multiple ways to do the fucking like weird racist preference shit. You can be like, yo, I like black niggas because I don't know, they're all fucking like big muscle tattooed niggers who be fucking out white blonde women every day, like I see on black.com. It could be, yo, I think they're all like innocent and pure souls or whatever, so that's why I want to fuck them. It could be, oh, it's taboo and that's why I want to fuck them. There are multiple racist reasons why people want to fuck black. Oh, I think my mic's back. Okay. All I'm saying is that a lot of times the racist shit is subconscious, and I know this shit better than them because they keep the shit subconscious because they don't want to think about it, because if they thought about it, they probably realize they're fucking racist. So, a lot of white people would very, very, very strongly like to believe that they are not racist. And those are the white people you have to watch out for. The white people I fuck with are the white people that say, yo, I'm racist as fuck. Right? Just tell me straight up, yo, I'm racist. This is how racist I can make an informed decision. I don't fuck with white people that are hiding how racist they are. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, especially for me as a black person. Now, a lot of white people are not necessarily hiding it. Well, they are hiding it, but they're not necessarily hiding it from me. They're hiding it from everyone, including themselves. Which, I mean, fair enough. I'm not saying you're like a bad person if you did that or whatever. But I don't have to fuck with you or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's still bad. It's still bad. Alright? That's all I'm saying. Anyways, let's continue. Wait, what?
I've definitely been ignorant.
So we were.
Wait. Let me look at this distribution, dog. I have to check this distribution.
So we were.
Okay, so we got a brownish, I don't know, bitch over here. Got a black nigga. Got a white bitch. Another black nigga. Black nigga, white bitch. Got a black nigga. And we have two white people over here. And a black nigga. It doesn't fucking matter. I was just interested.
So we had an argument, and I was upset, and I had previously expressed how the stereotype or the stigma on angry black men or angry black women and how that makes me feel. And so we got into an argument. I was an angry black man, but in that moment of anger, he actually called me an angry black man.
Oof.
which is like the
Oof.
made me go.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That that was like the one thing that I talked to him
Oof.
about. So, that was a really bad fight, and it never happened again.
I feel like, I'm strongly disagree, but I think as just a white person,
Bro, why is she moving forward? What the fuck?
I am just inherently ignorant.
Bro, what are you doing? Bro, this bitch is moving completely to the other direction in the middle of talking. What the fuck? No, I have to see where this is going.
So I think I'm gonna move to somewhat agree. Dating a black man has
Bro,
kind of
what?
opened my eyes more
Okay,
than I already
okay.
thought they were open.
To be fair, you've never said anything that made me feel like, damn, she's racist.
I'm from the Bay, so it used to be in my vocabulary where I would say the N-word with the A. I would rap it. I would do just those things, but my slang in general would just tick her off. And then I became.
Yeah, because the bitch was probably racist, so. If your bitch was ticked off by that, I'm pretty sure she was fucking racist. I gotta be honest with you. She was probably fucking racist. She was probably racist.
Conscious of it, and I really liked her, or I still do, of course. I love you.
Wait, what, is that her? Oh wait, he was dating a black woman? Okay, now this is significantly more interesting. Okay, wait, is that okay? I have to see where this is going.
I started changing the way I speak. I feel like she should be over here too. She would do Asian accents.
The only time that I feel like I could be offending Asian people is when I'm mocking you when you're mocking your mother.
There it is.
So I only do the accent when he does it, making fun of his mom. Before that, I never did that, so.
Okay, guys, so we're going to do something different. This is called hot takes. And basically, we let our audience submit hot takes and assumptions that they make about interracial relationships.
Their issue is probably that he looks more mixed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Sex gets steamy since you are interracial.
Sex gets steamy since you are
I think it
interracial?
adds to
What?
I like the
Appeal.
differences.
I'm assuming they're like
Definitely,
most of them are
it's not like a
interracial,
weird
so
role play or anything.
or maybe not. I don't know.
Definitely, makes it fun.
I will say, like, when I'm not with you, people will like be like, oh, like I know why you're with a black guy, and it's like that's like super disrespectful because it's like that's like definitely like on the line of like fetishizing like
Right.
a race.
There's not many sexual stereotypes about white men, but like walking down the street, especially like
Hey, hold on.
Definitely like
Give me a sec.
makes it fun.
Okay.
I will say, like, when I'm not with
Okay.
you, people will like be like, oh, like I know why you're with a black guy, and it's like that's like super disrespectful because it's like that's like definitely like on the line of like fetishizing like
Right,
a
right.
race.
There's not many sexual stereotypes about white men, but like walking down the street, especially dating an Asian woman, like I get looks from men all the time, being like, oh, like right, and like people like actually like calling me out while I'm right next to her.
Yeah, they're racist people. Shocking. There's not many native women who would use the S-bomb. What's the S-bomb? No, I'd never use it because we couldn't compare terrible. I don't even know what the S-bomb is. So.
Interracial relationships can be a fetish, and that's okay if it's love too.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard one. I've actually struggled with this one. I've thought about it before. I've struggled with this for a while. Can you actually in real life practically have a healthy relationship that includes racial fetishes? Honestly, I don't think I have enough experience to be able to say this for sure. But I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Let me be clear. I would not. I'm not particularly interested in race play. Like maybe like if it was done in like a very specific way, I would be interested in it. But like generally, not really that big a fan of it. I'm such not a big fan of it that I'm somewhat confused how you can actually have a healthy relationship with a person who's sexually aroused by racism. But I mean, you never know. I mean, there's some weird niggas in this world. Some people, I mean, like, you see them and you think the shit won't work, and you think that the shit probably unhealthy, and it works. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to say that this is like inherently bad, but I would say it makes me suspicious.
Even if you love the person, you just fetishizing that person is
feel like it
good at all.
devalues
Yeah,
it.
and you're devaluing the entire community in itself.
I think there's always room for growth, so I can understand if it starts as a fetish and then along.
Bro, this bitch calls this nigga a chink on a daily basis. I'm convinced. Convinced. She's calling him a chink on a daily basis.
You know, the relationship, they actually fall in love with that person and they realize that, okay, it wasn't okay for me to initially just like you based off of that.
If it's between...
I'm very, very interested by the fact that the two sort of black people, but the one, but who both of whom have somewhat admitted to being racist, are the ones on the agree, and the other ones are on the strongly disagree. So you might think that my assumption here is that they're racist over here. That is not my assumption. What I'm thinking might be the case, or is probably a more likely explanation, is that they are racist. Yes, that is true. However, they are the only ones in this room who are fully aware of how racist they are. And all of these people over here are posing. I get the feeling that these people over here are the actual, real fucking racists, and people over here are just doing some fucking weird bedroom shit. That's all I'm saying.
Between two consenting adults, the freak stuff in the bedroom, if race sprinkles is put into that context, what do we think of that? Like, it's just in the bedroom, or is it like possible to just keep it in the bedroom?
How would race be put into the bedroom?
Use your imagination.
It doesn't even matter.
What do you, okay, now I know that this person is almost certainly fucking one racist and two posing, cause the idea that you don't know, well, let me not say that. I was gonna say the idea that you don't know how racial fetishes and race play works is like ridiculous. Everyone fucking knows that. But it could just be that, you know, like he's uncomfortable, he doesn't want to be like giving the details, so let me not be too hard on him, but still. People are so afraid of appearing racist / admitting to it that they can't confront their own issues. Exactly, my nigga, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Matter if you're consenting or not, it's still wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like you want to say that stuff, you want to do.
Why is it wrong? I get the feeling this nigga racist too, and I get the feeling this bitch racist too, cause like, look, my problem with race play is not that it is morally wrong. I do not believe that race play is morally wrong. I believe that race playing is just a symptom of probably much larger issues with racism that are going on in the relationship. I think that's, in most cases, the case. I would not argue that, like, calling your partner a nigger while he's fucking you is like, I don't know, morally wrong. That seems is just a sort of weird, a weird calculation to make, really. But whatever.
Do that stuff because of the stereotypes you have of those people, and that doesn't really sit right with me whatsoever.
I have always wanted mixed babies.
That's another hard one. Oof. Damn, that one's hard. That one is actually difficult. Is it okay to want mixed race babies? Oof. I mean, I started this entire thing saying we were trying to breed out white women, but to a certain extent that was a joke. So, oof, is it okay to want mixed race babies? Yeah, I don't want children at all, so fuck that shit. Fuck the kids. But is it okay to want mixed race children? Okay. I would say I would say it is not theoretically impossible to want mixed race babies and not be fucked up and racist. But what I am saying is that wanting mixed race baby, or really wanting your child to have any particular characteristic, is usually the symptom of a much worse problem. So that's all I'm saying. I would recommend if you have a child that you don't start with, I want my child to be this and that before the child is even born. That's all I'm saying. Like, me personally, like, I don't understand why people are, like, trying to find, like, the perfect genetic fucking child to raise. Like, I feel like the bitches that want my sperm because I'm a god and I want a genius child like me, but unfortunately I have to tell you, most of them disturbed. The desire to form your child's genetics usually does not come from a healthy place. Let me be fucking frank. I don't think people can want this without fetishizing mixed race people or having some kind of internal and stuff to work out. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I'm not gonna say it's like theoretically impossible, but I will say that I have not met anyone who is like ideologically wedded to the idea of having mixed race children who is not fucked up. That's all I'm saying.
3, 2, 1, go.
At one point in my life, I kind of wanted to have mixed babies with almost every race.
Bro. What I'm saying to this nigga is, yo, bro, you do you, and I'll do me, alright? I'm mixed race. I will be doing my acting like a normal human being shit. You do your whatever the fuck that is.
I don't know if that's weird, but I just wanted, I'm real into genetics. I would...
Bro, what? You're insane, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you care? At all? Why does it matter what your child looks like, bro? You're insane. I've never met a person who cares about their child's appearance who is not insane.
Would like to see how my kids would turn out, and
Never race.
Bro,
As
what?
a mixed race person myself, you don't have a group of people to really be around. I mean, sometimes you connect with one side, sometimes you connect with the other side. But for me, it sucked actually a lot. I've accepted myself. I'm black and proud. I love the fact that I have both of these cultures, and I really don't care. I just have to teach my kids that because of your skin tone, you either gain privileges or lose privileges.
But isn't that your girlfriend? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, right, like, if you and her had a child, right, like, that child would probably just look like a regular Mediterranean fucking child, alright? That child would probably be white passing, that's all I'm saying.
Or lose privileges.
Like, I've had people at work, like, we'll be talking about ourselves, and I'll show them a picture of Ivan, and they'll be like, oh my god, I totally wanted black babies, like, when I was, like, a teenager. And it's just like...
What? What? Oh my god.
This isn't Build-A-Bear, like,
Right.
this isn't...
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Human, like...
A lot, now...
So...
And I actually have an 8-year-old mixed child. It's been very challenging, but I've had to stick it out because I want to be a good father and I care about my kid. So
This isn't Build-A-Bear, this is real life. And in my mind, I wanted to have kids that was exactly my skin tone or very close to it and look like me, because I am conceited as well. Where the hell I'm gonna find somebody to do that and it work out and they're just the perfect wife? I don't believe in that anymore.
It's funny because that was actually something we talked about when we first started dating. That became an insecurity of mine. I was like, so why are we dating? Because I cannot provide absolutely any of that for you. And so I understand, like I said, why he feels that way, why a lot of the black community feels that way. So I'm just glad that I'm accepted now in our relationship for that.
I sometimes feel like I betrayed my own race. Three, two, one, go.
Yeah. I definitely feel like that, man. I feel like, especially where I'm from, I did my people a disservice by playing into that stereotype. And knowing what I stand for now, it's hard for me to feel like I'm gonna be taken serious in the future if I ever wanna speak on controversial topics. My people won't respect what I say because like it doesn't add up, my views and stuff, and then I'm dating somebody outside of my race behind the scenes. I feel like I lose respect in a way.
me growing up, like, I was never always seen as black, whether it was because of how I looked or how I talked or my culture. But then when I get with someone who's not black, right, they're like, oh, you're betraying us. Oh, like, I get comments literally in my DMs being like, oh, Alex, you're not with us no more, right? And I'm like, do you want me or do you not want me, you know? It doesn't bother me if you don't want me, and I understand it is what it is, but don't pick and choose and don't nitpick little things, right? If you want me to be part of your community, then accept me for who I am. Don't say that because I'm half, I don't get to participate in certain topics or certain discussions.
Sorry guys, I didn't realize that my mic cut out. I don't remember, well, I don't know when my mic cut out, so I'm just gonna go over. Basically, I was saying this, sort of like the fact that all the black people are on one side and all of the white people were on the other side, extremely fucking interesting. Probably the most interesting outcome that's come out so far. I was saying that I sort of agree with what this guy was saying, but now that all of that is done, and now that I've realized that, like, another extremely interesting thing is that none of the sort of like white people on the strongly disagree side actually talked about why they had that opinion. I'm going to theorize as to why this split occurred. I'm going to give my own opinion. So, the reason I would say that the white people felt that they did not betray their own race is because the concept of race betrayal is sort of a one, it's a concept that in the context of the white community is only really discussed by fascists. Otherwise, nobody really gives a fuck. Or at least, if they do give a fuck, they only have their weird fucking, like, bigotry and prejudice or whatever, but they don't, like, actively try to, basically prevent race mixing and miscegenation. And that's probably why they felt like, well, that's one reason why they probably felt like they didn't agree with their race. But another reason is that the white people who did reject them for not being, for like betraying their race, right, are like people who, like, those white people were probably not interested in the opinions of to begin with. So in a certain sense, by dating a black person, you have essentially switched your base of communities. Oh, whoops. Yeah, you've essentially switched your base of communities from the white to the black community. All right. Whereas if you're a black person dating interracially, you're not really going to be accepted as a white person. So the only option you really have is to be based in the black community. So being based in the black community and having the black community be your primary sort of source of just like general community understanding, things like that. Dating interracially does not sort of necessarily mean that you are leaving the black community, but there is obviously a constant fear from the black community of that happening, especially with its mixed race members. It's for this reason that most of the black people probably feel like they betrayed the black community, and I feel that they're undergoing more sort of like open harassment as a result of this, because the white people who would be liable to sort of like do a similar thing but from the opposite end to the white people who are dating interracially, right? They just probably wouldn't talk to them to begin with, because if they did, they would be revealing themselves to be white supremacists. So that's, I think, the most likely explanation for why this split occurred. With regards to my opinion on the issue, look, man, I'm a Pan-Africanist. I talk about black issues all the fucking time, alright? I am significantly less racist than maybe most of the niggas that I talk to. So, the idea that I fuck white women, that in and of itself should be evidence that should override all of the actual things that I've done for the black community and will continue to do for the black community, the things that I'm openly saying that I'm going to do, the things, the support that I'm constantly giving to the black community, the idea that I'm fucking white women, that should eliminate that and override that is ridiculous, right? When I was a kid, sort of like, that was a thing that people used to say to me. Eventually, I realized that I could just, well, I could make the I could make the argument that I make it right now, and two, I could just show people how ridiculous they were being, especially by pointing out the fact that most of them were more racist than me to begin with. So the idea that, oh, I only fuck black women and that makes me not racist, and you're more racist than me because you fuck white women, I could easily show, and I'm still always easily showing, that this is a ridiculous way of seeing the world. Okay? So I usually don't get that so much anymore. The extent to which I do, it is quickly shut down, because this argument really does not work on me. It's quite clear to most people after talking to me for a certain period of time that I'm a vicious anti-racist. So my dating habits, just I don't particularly consider them really. Alright, I like fucking good body, cute face girls, and that's it. Alright, I don't really give a fuck about race. Alright, as long as I'm fuck with the culture and I'm have a cute face and nice body, I don't really give a fuck. So that seems pretty insightful and agreeable. Thanks.
I don't get to participate in certain topics or certain discussions.
Being linked to another race.
To another race has its benefits. I mean, I feel like that's kind of just objective. I'd agree with that, I guess. This nigga in the middle just confused. He's like, I don't know, man.
Linked kind of confused me, because I feel like experiencing another person's experience, like what their culture, like the way that they live, is definitely personally beneficial. But I think that, like, in terms of how others view me because I'm dating a white man, I don't find that beneficial. Like, I feel like people might have like preconceptions about who I am because I'm an Asian person who's chosen to date a white man. Yeah. I had a question for, I guess, other people. Like, do you ever feel like being with a white person like could shield you from like discrimination, or like that they could like stand up for you in a certain context? Like, honestly,
I know what they're gonna say, but I'm gonna say straight up before any of them say anything, yes. Yes, that is 100% true.
like if you were in like an altercation with the police or something, like would having a white person there, like,
yeah. All the black people are like, yeah.
Right. And that's what I kind of thought of when I heard the question, and I was listening to you. It was just like, I don't know, even a customer service experience. I don't know, just random experiences where the person on the other side might judge me based on me being black, but versus someone else calling, or him calling, and it's a whole different experience. So they might treat us individuals differently.
Bro, this guy is so awkward. Look at him. He's just like, what? I don't know what to do here.
Feels differently. So there might be a whole different experience based on just that.
I feel like an outsider with my partner's family.
Oof. 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 Honestly, I mean, I feel that regardless of who the fucking family is, I just always, well, me personally, I don't like most people to begin with. So the idea that I'm gonna like someone's family, probably not. Probably not. Bitch says, gonna meet my family, and just be like, I'm gonna be like, yo, can we not? Max is Ethiopian. There are a bunch of really trivial things where, like, why the hell can't the motel manager give her a punch? Everybody trust me? Yeah, because he's fucking racist. What do you mean?
3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, like, I feel like this is a really individual thing. Like, but all the black people, right? They went to agree, and all the white people went to strongly disagree. Well, yeah, that makes sense, to be honest. That makes sense. Black people are significantly more accepting than white people, so.
So, I'm sorry, Grace.
Oof.
In our lives, especially today, recently, politics plays such a huge part in it. And
Yeah, I feel like an outsider with my own family, let alone other people's. Exactly.
from a conservative household, that's different from where I come from. And it does make me a little bit uncomfortable to know that I'm going to be meeting people and have to have close relationships with them, and they don't value what I feel like I value in my life.
He's actually the first black man I have ever dated, and the only person of color within like my family, just in of itself. And so
Are they married?
certain members of my family with the same political values as us like had to kind of confide in me like, hey, we support you with whoever you date, like we're here for you.
Oh my god, I know where this one's going.
So it was interesting to kind of see the different sides of my family members that I didn't
Oh, it's not going anywhere? Well, I don't know. Still seems shaky.
necessarily know.
When I met her father for the first time, we were walking to get food, and we saw the Ronald Reagan Museum or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, I love Ronald Reagan, right? And you can have your own personal opinions on presidents, but Ronald Reagan was like, he's like the main reason why black people are incarcerated. He's not a very good person to black people. So I was just kind of cracking up about that, and I was kind of awkward, and I know you kind of bit your tongue on that as well.
Not say anything.
But I was thinking about saying something to maybe like be like, oh, I don't know about that, but I didn't want to like argue with your father on the very first day that I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very fun. Yeah. I don't know if I can exactly truly connect with him because of that. He's a very nice person, obviously, and he makes me feel comfortable, but at the same time I have to recognize who I am as a person.
I would say I somewhat agree because with my partner's family, there's a language barrier. So I guess it's my responsibility now to try to learn the language, but sometimes when we're together, they're talking, I have no idea what's going on. So I think that's a bit of why I feel like an outsider, but other than that, I feel welcome.
Two mixed black guys went the other way. I wonder if that trend was stand up with a bigger sample. Hmm. 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 I don't know.
Because,
I mean, me personally, if you want my opinion, I've met white people's families before. Honestly, they tend to like me. I mean, I am a fairly Mediterranean-looking person, so like if there was a black person that they're gonna like, it was probably gonna be me. But yeah, I mean, like in general, I mean for black people, it would probably not be the case. Mixed race people in general, I don't know. There'd probably be like maybe a 50-50 split. I don't know. It would, honestly, it would probably come down a lot to how they look. I mean, those two guys are fairly attractive people, but what if they were like ugly? I mean, would they feel the same way? Who knows? Maybe since their own families are mixed, they'd be more comfortable with it. Well, yeah, but they might be going to like they might be like meeting an all-white family, you know, so.
My partner's family, there's a language barrier. So I guess it's my responsibility now to try to learn the language, but sometimes when we're together, they're talking, I have no idea what's going on. So I think that's a bit of why I feel like an outsider, but other than that, I feel welcomed.
I wish we were the same race. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'll start. I feel like that would just be the default.
Just not that surprising. I mean, if you ask me, I mean, I date interracially. I certainly do not want my parents to be the same race as me. Although sometimes, but even though, like, what I give a fuck is whether they fuck with my culture or not. The race doesn't really come into it. All right, I care about culture. So yeah, I really care how my partner looks, really, as long as I look good. So
Easiest way to navigate through life. But definitely, obviously, growth happens when you're in relationships. But yeah, that's kind of why I chose somewhat agree.
Yeah, I guess it, like you were saying, like I just feel like it would be easier in some aspects, and then for me, just like being mixed race, I have felt very like disconnected from my culture, so I feel like dating someone who was like Chilean or who was Korean would help me. But I also agree, like obviously if you were white, you wouldn't be like you, and so I don't like wish that. And
the benefits outweigh like what I gain. It kind of sounds weird coming out because it's like, what do you guys get out of dating white people? But like, white people are getting weird.
I think it's interesting that everyone's saying that.
honestly, I'm asking that question more and more every day. What do I get out of dating white people?
They feel it's easier, because I feel like it would be more difficult, me having a black man and raising a black family, that it would be more difficult if I was maybe with someone who was white, who could probably have benefits in other ways. I'm grateful for my husband, and
Oh, they're married?
with him, and I think there's a lot of benefits, just culturally.
And guys, that is officially a wrap. And then we also
Yo, like, I heard this was, like, really awkward, but, like, I don't know, it seemed fairly normal to me to ask some pretty fucking, I mean, considering the topic, they asked some pretty fucking normal questions. I mean, like, it was uncomfortable in the sense that, like, the topic itself is inherently uncomfortable, I guess, but, like, I don't know. I don't know, it just seemed fairly normal to me. It was an alright video, honestly. Honestly, to be honest, I feel like I learned a couple of things from this video. Or at least, like, while watching this video, I was able to analyze a lot of things. A lot of things about race relations that, well, one that I had, well, maybe that I had before, but, like, maybe a lot of times in more detail than I had before. And also to see, again, because this is sort of rare for me to see what this whole interracial dating thing is like from a outside perspective. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of you know I live in Montreal, so there aren't that many black women, I gotta be honest with you. So I'm mostly doing interracial dating, and it's been somewhat of a nightmare, and I'm trying to figure out how much of this is related to me and how much of this is related to racism or other factors. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think overall it was a good video. Yeah. Anyways, I think my food might be here. It's been like an hour, so yeah, I'm gonna go get food and eat food, because that sounds great, actually. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, again, I'm releasing a lot of content next couple of weeks, so look out for that. Look out fucking especially for for my upcoming album, because it's going to be awesome. All right, my music's great. Listen to it, share it with all your friends, share this video with all your friends, and share the live cuts from this stream that are going to be coming up in the future, because I want my channel to grow and I have no money. Speaking of that, of having no money, I'm extremely poor, and I haven't actually paid rent this month, and I don't know how I'm going to pay rent for next month. So please, 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 please donate to my PayPal, or sub to my Patreon, but especially donate to my PayPal, because I need money as soon as possible. I am in serious fucking poverty, and yeah, it's awful. I'm constantly stressed. I don't have any fucking money, and I don't want to get evicted, even though I need to move on by next month anyway. But still, please, thank you, and thanks. Sorry, cut out for a second there. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah.